Good afternoon, and welcome to the Pitt County DSS Board of Directors, October 11th, 2022 board meeting. And I'd like to call it to order, and we're going to observe a moment of silent prayer or silent meditation. Okay, do we have any public comments? Okay. So we need a motion approved to adopt or revise today's agenda.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Motion carried. And has everyone had a chance to read the previous meeting minutes? Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we got an exciting announcement today. We have our new director on board. Her name is Ms. Sharon Rochelle. She comes to us from Richmond by way of New York. And we want to take a little moment for her to introduce herself and tell us a little bit about herself. So, I'll turn it to you for a second.
Sure. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sharon Rochelle. I have been on the job for a little over a week now, and I'm truly enjoying the staff and the opportunity that is in front of me. I've worked in some form of child welfare for the past 30 years. I started in New York State and started off in Child Protective Services and in a very small county just south of Rochester, New York. Came from Buffalo also. I worked there as the first deputy commissioner, and then in Virginia as the Powhatan director. But I'm just thrilled to be here. My family will be joining me shortly. They're still in Virginia, but hopefully we'll be here at Pitt County and enjoying this beautiful area, and it truly is beautiful.
Yes. We can definitely say this is God's country in North Carolina, Eastern North Carolina, can't we? Okay, well, thank you and welcome.
Thank you.
So excited. Okay, so this is your opportunity to recognize your new hires and retirees.
Okay, for our new hires, we have Hakima Whitley Evans in Adult Services.
Come on up
Yeah.
and introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone.
Come to the mic.
Come to the mic.
Hello, everyone. I am Hakima. A lot of times people ask, how do you pronounce your name? And I just say it like you're speaking to me. Hakima. Hakima Whitley Evans, and I have joined Adult Protective Services. I'm thrilled to be with a great team and a new director, so I thank you guys. I feel like it's not new to me because I was with Pitt County 7 years ago, so I am home and I'm glad to be back.
Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
And next we have Shalon Dawson. Is she here? She's not here?
Okay.
Let's see here. Okay. And Jermaine Baines? No. Okay.
Okay.
Well, welcome. Anyway, welcome to Pitt County.
Welcome to the new, that's right. Okay, well, thank you. Okay, so we have some items for consent for budget amendments, and so Angela, would you like to come speak to us about those, please?
And prior to that, Hakima.
Oh, excuse the new hires.
Prior to that, Hakima, you can leave if you would like.
Yes, absolutely. I
You
forgot.
may be excused.
She might
Thank
want to
you,
stay
Sheila.
and hear everything.
You never learn. That's right.
Okay, we have got 4 budget amendments. These have already gone to the commissioners because of the time frame that we have to use the money. We went ahead and got it on our October 3rd meeting. First one we have are SNAP ARPA funds. We got $182,327. There are no additional county dollars asked for in this. And what this is, there was a handful of counties that were able to get extra funds to help catch up their F&S recertifications and apps. We were one of those counties. So what we're going to do with it is we're going to hire temps and pay overtime to try to get the F&S apps caught up. Our second budget amendment is for the Chaffee Links Transitional Funds. We received $29,000. This was a one-time thing for our 14 to 17-year-olds that were in foster care. It was a clothing allowance for the first time ever for this group, and we were able to give 75 children $460.31. They had to be age 14 to 17, of course, and in foster care. There were no additional county funds for that as well. And for our low-income household water assistance program, we actually received an allocation of $330,582, no additional county funds. This program started last year, and it ran concurrently with the LEAP program. And they actually are funding it again for this fiscal year. So this actually started in July 1 of this fiscal year, so it will be the whole year.
Okay.
And there are no additional county funds there either. And then our crisis intervention program, we received another funding authorization for an additional $44,145, and that brings our total so far for fiscal year 22-23 to $789,122. And there are no additional county dollars in that either.
Those are excellent resources
Yes.
to our county. Excellent. So do we have a motion to approve these items for consent?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Okay, you might as well stay up there, Angela, since you will be talking to us about budget update status of agency personnel.
Okay. All right, for the budget update for September of 2022, we have brought in revenues in the amount of $5,709,334, and our expenditures are $6,906,260. Revenues and expenditures are down a little bit because of the fact that we have so many vacancies, and if we don't spend, we don't bring funds in. So until we get fully staffed, we won't really see the actual projected revenues that have been put into the budget. Would you like me to go on to the vacancy report as well?
Absolutely, might as well. Yep.
Okay, we have a total of 53 vacancies. We have got 12 positions that are frozen. We have 20 positions that we are currently interviewing for. We have advertised 17. We are screening for 4 right now, and we are waiting on state approval for 4 positions, and these are new positions that were given to us during the budget. And we have filled 7 positions since the last meeting.
Excellent. Does anybody have any questions?
And if you
Angela.
want the detailed vacancy report with everything on it, I can give it to you.
Okay.
Since you guys had requested at the last meeting that you wanted everything on one particular spreadsheet, that's what I did this time.
Okay.
But if you want that in addition, just let me know, and we'll be glad to give it to you.
Okay.
Okay?
Anybody got any questions? Angela? Okay, thanks, Angela.
Okay, well, I'm staying up here.
Oh, that's right.
because-
Sorry about that.
It's okay, because Tammy Lewis is not here this
Oh,
afternoon.
okay. All righty.
And since I'm not a social work program administrator, all I'm gonna do is give you these numbers,
Okay.
and I'm gonna tell you what the numbers are. But as far as explaining it, I cannot explain it.
All righty.
Okay, for our child welfare permanency planning, which used to be foster care, we took 25 new kids into custody. We had 4 children that left custody. We have 220 children that are currently in custody with DSS at the end of September. Our 18 to 21, we have 17 participants. And the total number of children that are in foster care, not including the 18 to 21s, we have 237 children. Okay, move on to our intake and assessments. There were 124 reports screened in, and there were 45 reports screened out. And for our CPS in-home services, open in-home cases, we have 80. Courtesies that we do for other counties, there are 8. And prevention cases that are currently open are 3.
Okay.
And if
So
you
we're
don't
not supposed to ask you any questions since Tammy's not here?
No, because Tammy's not here, and I can't answer that.
All right, well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
We appreciate it. All right, Brian Averett, if you want to come up, please, and talk to us about Medicaid application processing report.
Good afternoon. The figures for the Medicaid application processing report are on the spreadsheet, and I'm happy to report for the month of September, we again passed the report card for Medicaid processing. For medical assistance for the disabled, the staff processed 95% of applications timely, and all other Medicaid programs, which is lumped in one group together, that processing processed timely is 93%. The state requirement is at least 90% to pass the report card, so we are exceeding the required state standard of 90%. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have about that, if you have any.
Any questions?
Okay, and then the low-income household water assistance program figures are also in your spreadsheet. And as of the end of September, we had assisted 446 households in Pitt County. This is from July through September. This is an ongoing total each month. Total of 446 households have been assisted. The amount for those 446 households is $147,991, and we still had $182,591 available as of September 30th.
Any questions for Mr. Averett? Okay, thank you.
Okay.
So, Sonia Scott, would you like to come up and talk to us about the 4-day work week?
Yes, okay. This is a collaboration
Okay.
of Sonia and I. This is a report on the 4-day work week pilot project, and the project was begun mid-June. Earlier in the year, the idea of trying a 4-day work week to offer some flexibility for staff was promoted, and a decision was made to have the pilot project. And the project began mid-June, and we are sharing data with you today on the productivity during the 3 months of July, August, and September 2022, and we're comparing those functions in the program areas to the productivity of July, August, and September 2021, when a 5-day work week was in place. On the first slide, we're looking at numbers from the Economic Services Division. And in Economic Services, at this point, 71 employees are participating in the 4-day work week. We have 2 teams, A and B. Team A works Monday through Thursday, and Team B works Tuesday through Friday. The other 31 employees have opted to continue with the traditional 5-day work week. So the first figures there are for quality improvement reviews. These are internal reviews that are done in the quality improvement section. And you can see in 2021, there were 1,106 done during that quarter. And 2022, 1,245 reviews were done for that quarter of this year. Intake, this includes all the public assistance programs, FNS, all the Medicaid programs, and the Work First Cash Assistance Program. 5,519 in 2021, and in 2022, the number processed 6,216. So these are the actual applications processed during that quarter. Then for redeterminations and changes to ongoing cases, 12,994 in 2021 and 14,798 during the quarter in 2022. And I'll move on to the next slide, and Ms. Scott will share her figures.
So currently with the Family Support Services Division, there's currently a staff of 53, without including our vacancies. And out of that 53, all staff are participating except 4 in the flex schedule. You can see the numbers here for our employment and daycare, and these are actions, and these actions includes new cases, reviews, changes, terminations, it includes all of that. We just felt it would have been easier just to include all the total number of actions. So from last year to this year, there's been a 20% change in employment daycare increase. In productivity, energy applications, there's been a 29% increase. Medicaid trips, and Medicaid trips, this is just the bill. This does not include those that were canceled. So that number is even greater with the canceled trips. So with the billed trips, it's been a 17% increase. And with child support action, we have had a 3% increase. So the numbers have increased. I think that's partly due, well, it's partly due to staff taking less time from work because staff has attempted to plan appointments, vacations, and things around their flex days, so there are less absences as what I've noticed in the teamwork. Those are just some of the pros that I see from a management standpoint. What I did do, and it's not included in your packet, but it was handed to you today, I asked staff to provide me with their feedback of the pros and cons. So I just pretty much took exactly what they said. I did not change any wording on it, and just created a template. And I just want to highlight some of the pros and the cons. And this is directly from staff who participates. One says, it allows me to reset after working usually more than the 40-hour week due to being short-staffed. Maintaining good mental stature, even during high work levels, keeps morale up and gives you something to look forward to after giving 100% every day. It allows me to invest much needed time in my family with a parent that is elderly and in need of my help with attending doctor appointments that would otherwise cause me to have to take additional time off work. I have personally benefited from having an opportunity to schedule doctor, dentist appointments, complete in-town, in-person errands, and so much appreciated mental, physical recharge. The time provides a safer and more efficient option to get those errands done opposed to Greenville's lunchtime traffic. I have to pack my lunch now, which is a much healthier option for me and my bank account. I've lost a few pounds and my blood pressure is down. And it says I'm saving $155 per month in fast food for lunches. So that's just some of the things. And one says it allows me to take on additional shifts at my part-time job to supplement my income as I'm a single mom. So those are just some of the pros, and you can read those in your own free time. One of the cons was if for some unforeseeable reason a day has to be taken during flex week, it is a 10 hours of time. So like say, for example, we had the emergency closing a couple of weeks ago. Individuals had to take 10 hours instead of, had to take 2 hours instead of the not having to take any time at all. So that's one of the cons. And then one said, occasionally miss going out for lunch, but I'm good with that. So that's just some of the pros and cons from staff. But as you can see, productivity has pretty much stayed the same or increased in most areas for all of the units. And I think Brian can attest to that as well. And just the teamwork and the morale from staff, from which I see from day to day, has drastically increased during this 4-day work week.
And what I would like to share, pros and cons, these are the main themes that I found from the feedback I received from staff in economic services. The first is that staff have had an option whether to do it or not. The fact that if the ones that wanted to do have done the 4-day work week, but the 5-day work week is still an option. Also, based on my observation and other feedback I'm getting from the staff, I do think the morale is better. Teamwork, this came from the staff. They feel like the teamwork is better and staff members are more willing to assist coworkers because they're all in this together. I think everybody's worked well together. One thing I'd like to mention about telephone calls, we have a buddy system. So if you're on team A, then you can help cover calls on the day that you're here, that the person that's paired with you is off, and then on the opposite flip side of it, that person covers for the other. So that's been one way of handling telephone calls, to be sure calls are answered and clients are served. Another pro is they like having the one day off each week to be able to schedule appointments. I also saw that, having the long weekend allows them to plan time out of town with family. It's easier for their planning. The cons that we got, another pro was the gasoline consumption. We have a lot of employees who commute, and having just one day a week has saved significantly the fuel costs that they had previously. The cons, the most cons that I got that were in common are having the working lunch. That was an adjustment because it is a working lunch. There's not a time period that's designated that's just lunchtime. It is part of the total 8 hours for the day. But by having the working lunch, that allows employees not to have to be here as late in the evening and as early in the morning. Also, some mentioned the phone calls. When you are here, you will get more phone calls because there are fewer people to handle the calls that are coming in on Mondays and Fridays. But I think the buddy system has worked fairly well in our area to help with that. Also mentioned was on the emergency closing day. That was something that was the first time that had happened and was necessary since we had been doing the pilot project. And the ones that are working the 4-day work week did have to take 2 additional hours of personal leave to offset the time, because those working the 4-day work week got 8 hours. Everybody got 8 hours for that day. Then one other, we talked about the 1 day off each week and the long weekend. So that's sort of an overview of the pros and the cons that we've heard from staff. So we'll be happy to answer any questions you have.
So Brian, when somebody is designated on a 4-day work week, do they consistently work the Monday through Thursday schedule every week, and then the other group would do the Tuesday through Friday?
And but then there is a flip. The schedule is flipped, so it does allow once a month.
So
That piece of it.
It alternates every pay period. So if you're on Team A, you may be off for one pay period, you're off 2 Mondays. Then the next pay period, you're off the 2 Fridays. So it actually works out that individuals have a 4-day weekend in between there. So we alternate we alternate pay weeks as far as what day is off. So that gives everybody a chance to have some Mondays off, have some Fridays off.
Okay. And so looking at your numbers, do you have a comparison from last year to this year? Is the staffing numbers about the same, or, so in other words, last year when
The
you
vacancies?
gave, let's say you had 50 people working, and this year 50 people, or have those numbers changed?
So for family support, for last year, if I'm not mistaken, we didn't have any vacancies. If we did, we may have had 1 or 2. This is the most vacancies we've had in the last year. I don't even think, and I'm almost positive we did not have any vacancies last year. And in one unit, our emergency program, we're actually down 2 people right now, and we're still meeting those numbers. And with daycare also, we're down a position. So even with those vacancies, we're still exceeding the actions from before.
And I would say the numbers are somewhat comparable now to what we had last year. I can say that within the last part of September, we're probably at the highest point we've been. So most of this data is from up through the midpoint of September. So I would say somewhat comparable. I do know we have more now as of October than we did this time last year. There are more vacancies at this point because we've had some recent ones.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I have a question. Last month, there was some statement made, and I could be wrong, about difficulty in completing day sheets, time sheets.
So that would be Angela's question. So there's been, she can speak on the day sheets. It's the day sheets.
Okay.
I'm just going to stand up here for the rest of the day. No, the issue with the 4-day work week is the way that the weeks flop is what we're thinking it is. The time that we are actually reporting sometimes is actually more than the time that the state actually says you can work. So you would think that with everybody working 40 hours a week that there wouldn't be fluctuations, but there are. So the only thing we were concerned about is, we've been talking with our business liaisons, we're just concerned that we're going to end up having an audit exception because of that, because it's going to look like we're working so many more hours than what they actually are working. So it's just the way that with the Friday and Monday, when they have it, there's something that messes up the calculations there.
And Angela, just a quick question. So when you've got somebody with a 4-day work week, so they're flipping now, so we're working Monday through Thursday, have off Friday, and the following week, they're having Monday off. Does that also influence the timesheets as far as?
The day sheets.
Yeah, day sheets, I'm
that's
sorry.
that's what we're having, that's what we're seeing as doing, that's the fluctuation I'm talking about. That's what we see as making our numbers more so than what they should, more than what they should be for the months because of that fluctuation. And then the other issue we have is if the first of the month falls on that Friday and that Monday, and our day sheet deadline falls within that time frame, we have to get another supervisor or division chief to go in there and actually approve those day sheets for us, because we have a certain date they have got to be approved, and we can't upload anything to the state until everything is certified and approved. So that's the two cons that we've seen with it.
And the cons can be rectified. I mean, there's a resolvable solution to that.
Well, the only way we've been rectifying it is we've been having to go in there, and Tanya Cannon, who does the actual report, has to go in and she has to calculate from the timesheets the amount of actual minutes that can be reported for the ones that are on the flex schedule. We haven't found any other way to resolve it yet. We have been talking to our business liaison, and she's trying to work with us some to try to help that out. But so far, we haven't come to a resolution, but I'm not saying that we won't. I mean, it's possible.
Thank you.
Angela, from a day sheet standpoint, do you think if their schedule stayed Monday through Thursday or Tuesday through Friday rather than flip-flopping, would that help that problem?
I think it would. We think it would, because we've tried it both ways to see. But until we actually have the numbers that we can actually look at, it's hard to tell.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
I had a question also left over from last month. I don't know if you need to stay or not, Angela. And again, and I also could be wrong. I feel like there was some mention last month that some departments are doing this and some are not, correct?
That's correct.
And so there's some feeling potentially of inequity that some people get to and some people don't.
That's true.
And so is there any brainstorming that could happen to make it more equitable? Or is it really just a solid, this is not possible in the other departments?
Well, I think what we've been talking about, Cynthia Ross is good at thinking outside the box for things like that. So she had come up with some things that you could do that were a little bit different, like maybe having a productivity day, you work at home one day a week, or things like that. With child welfare, they can't do anything right now because they've got so many vacancies and so much going on. But yeah, they do have, there is a little bit of feeling of kind of like a little bit of resentment.
So
because
keeping
they
in
can't.
mind that equity doesn't necessarily mean they all get the same thing.
Right.
But they all get something.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just curious. Thank
Okay.
you.
So what are our next steps?
Well, I think that would be the decision of our new director. I don't think staff would have a problem with having a standard day, and I do understand the concern of child welfare and adult services due to staffing issues and with the number of vacancies they have, with them not being able to participate. And from what I understood and understand from previous meetings is that, you know, if the opportunity ever presented itself where those units were fully staffed, and even our admin unit has like 4 or 5 vacancies, so they're just not able to participate right now. But if we were to see those divisions fully or near fully staff, then that would be something they would be able to participate in or some other alternative. So ultimately, the decision is up to our new director as to whether or not it will continue after December 31st. This is a pilot, so I know staff would hate to see it go, but I think they would also be open to any modified changes that may be needed so that everyone can continue the 4-day work week.
So I guess I see with this, it's kind of like, if you work in healthcare, some people have 24/7 accountability and some people don't.
Exactly.
And so I would think that it would be difficult to have, to do this, and then expect people that may be off one day to have to come back in because of a situation with their particular client. So I think that's where we could run into some problems and some challenges, especially if we're down staff, and then just the numbers of folks cases that we're currently dealing with. So I have to wonder if it's translatable in the way you're doing it, or do we have other options, which could be a flex day, a work day from home, kind of something like that, that makes it, you'd still save your gas if you didn't have to drive in from maybe from another county. But I don't know what the monitoring of that looks like. I know we did some of that, I think, during the height of COVID.
Well, child welfare and adult services were allowed to work from home, and some income maintenance, very few. But family support, we were not allowed to work from home, so they actually came into the office every day. And one thing I do want to mention is social services has changed. The people we serve, the staff we employ, and the programs that we operate have changed. And in order for us to compete with our larger counties, we've got to offer our employees something. And we have larger counties, Wake County, Durham County, Mecklenburg County, they're all working hybrid schedules where they come into the office 2 days a week, 3 days a week, whatever it may be. I've actually had about 3 people from Family Support Services that have left to go work with the state office because they have the ability to work from home and come into the office 1 day a week. We have been told that that's not an option for Pitt County right now. So in order for us to compete and attract and retain employees, we've got to offer something. And this new generation, they want more money and they want flexibility. It's different from when I started 27 years ago, believe it or not, 27 years ago. I was looking for longevity and somewhere where I can retire and take care of myself. They are not looking at that. So we've got to remember that when we do that. And I think that any program we do, whether traditional or flex, it's going to work differently for each program. We're going to have to tailor something to fit each different division to what works for them, whether it be a productivity day, a day home from work, whatever it may be. It's going to have to be tailored to fit each individual program.
And the monitoring on the part of the supervisor kind of gets ramped up when you do have folks working remotely.
Yes.
You have to make sure that they are being productive.
Yes.
So, any other questions? So we would just continue moving forward with this until Christmas, over the new year.
I just ask that we give enough notice because we do have some staff who have made daycare arrangements that will need to make arrangements, and if things change or go back, whatever decision is made, they'll need notice to prepare themselves for daycare and their part-time work schedules.
All righty. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
To be continued, right? Okay. All right, Ms. Rochelle, we have the director's report.
So, let's see, my 7th day on the job. I guess what I just really kind of want to share is at this point, my observations. I see staff here that are very dedicated and passionate about their work. And while I know that we need additional people, everybody works together and has the same mission, which is to serve the citizens of Pitt County. So it's been an interesting week and almost a half, but I just have to say that I'm so happy to be here. We all have work to do, and I see that, but I don't think there's anything that's not insurmountable with the quality of staff that exists. And hopefully next month I will have more to say.
Okay. Excellent. So you have some upcoming events, I see.
So we are going to make Bready Bears, I guess is what they're called. It's a fundraiser for foster care for Christmas. That's my understanding. And then there's Jingle Bell Jeans, where staff are allowed to wear, they purchase a ticket and are allowed to wear jeans on Fridays for a certain length of time. I think it's till the end of the year, which is something, well, nope, it's till the end of January. But staff look forward to that, having that ability to be able to do that and spend Fridays in their comfortable jeans as opposed to their business casual attire.
Okay. So do we have any board member comments today?
Just clarification about Brady Bear. So this happens on Friday.
So honestly, Ms. Bunch, I'm not sure how the whole thing, so we go Friday, that's the kickoff. I'm not sure what day we actually do the Brady Bears. Oh, there we go. So the Brady Bear Queen.
Yes, since nobody's here from foster care, yes, it will be this Friday. And what the Brady Bears are, since you haven't been here for this, we've had commissioners, we've had the board members, we've had the sheriff, everybody goes to Great Harvest Bread, and they actually make a bear that is made out of bread, and they call it Brady Bear. And they do it as for a fundraiser for our foster care children for the Christmas stuff. So yes, but it is this Friday.
So that's the only time you can buy bread is this Friday.
No, that's the only time that you actually go in and make it.
And make
This
it,
is when
okay.
when you go in and you actually participate in making it, when they have the
Okay.
press there.
And then
and
they'll
all.
sell them closer
But
to Christmas?
Yes.
Okay.
As far as I know, they are going to do it. Oh, and you can purchase them online.
Oh, all right. Excellent.
Okay.
Thank you.
Excellent. Anyone else?
Well, we're just happy to have Ms. Rochelle here on board,
Oh,
and welcome to Eastern North Carolina, and may the force be with you.
Thank you.
I would like to thank Ms. Suzanne Gray for the time that she spent as the interim director here for a couple of weeks with us. I think it was really instrumental in her kind of holding down the fort, passing the torch over to Ms. Rochelle. So I just want to say thanks to you, Suzanne, if you're out there listening.
Thanks, Mr. Dancy. I absolutely agree. She was a good handoff transition person for us to have until we could get our permanent director on board. So I agree. And so welcome. We're excited about you being here.
Thank
And
you.
I know your staff are definitely excited. Anything
I
else?
also just wanted to say thank you for being here. It's been wonderful to have you in place for 7 whole days. But I also just want to say thank you to our new hire for coming back to us, and to all of the staff at the Department of Social Services. This is such a necessary entity of our community, and the work is not light. So I just want to give extreme appreciation to everyone doing this work day in and day out.
Perfect. Okay, so do I have a motion to adjourn?
So motion.
So moved. Second. Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. So we will see you back on November 8th at 4 o'clock. Have a good afternoon.